Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Before I get the ball rolling on today's video, I just want to say that I am really sorry that I didn't upload a video on Monday. I've just been really busy with work. As some of you may or may not be aware of, that I work in a cinema, and it's just really difficult because Bond is out and it was really busy and I was working long hours, and when I came home, no matter what day it was early at night or late at night rather, and I couldn't have time to actually edit my videos or do anything to actually upload any video. Do you get the idea? So apologies for that. Also, I'm at the tail end of getting rid of a cold, so if you hear me cough or sniffle, apologies for that. I will try to edit that stuff out, but if some of it gets through, apologies for that. So I am currently in a cemetery or graveyard near my house. It isn't a full-blown attraction like the last one was, like up at Highgate Cemetery. This one is a more of a residential graveyard, to put it bluntly. It's a lot smaller than the first one. There isn't any staff members around. You don't have to pay a admission fee to get in, and also unlike Highgate, this actually has a church in the cemetery as well, so that is really cool. I don't know if I mentioned it as well, but this doesn't have any staff members around, and as far as I can see, I'm the only person in here, so that's great. And like the first graveyard I went to, once again, I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to be really respectful of the graves. I'm not going to interact with any of them. I'm going to be super respectful to people here, both the living and the dead. And if I see any body that works at the church or any visitors, I'm going to be super respectful of them as well. Also, on a more I don't want to say morbid side, but interesting side, this cemetery is right next door to a children's playground and a tennis court, so that's a bit of trivia for you guys. Right, I found a nice place to sit by the church. Once again, sorry about the wind. I'm outside and there's not much I can do about the weather, but first thing I want to talk about is my September wrap up and my overall thoughts on subscriber month, my general thoughts on that. For those of you who do not know what I mean by subscriber month, it's just my own personal way of saying thank you to everyone that is subscribed to my channel, and it gives them the opportunity to tell me what books they would like me to read and talk about on my channel. So I do this every single year. This is the second time I've actually done it, and last year I did it only for August because I was born in August, and this year I decided to do it both in August and September. I extended it for 2 months because I had so many recommendations, and I've got like obviously a larger subscriber count than I did have the first time I did it. So before I tell you what books I actually read for subscriber month, just briefly, I just want to say that the books I haven't managed to pick up are still in my room, and what am I going to do with them? Well, I am still going to keep them in that jar, and once in a while I'm going to pick out 1, maybe 2, and read them. And obviously when I do that, I'm going to give the person that recommended them books to me a big shout out as well. It will just be once in a while. So the first book that I read for subscriber month in August was The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I haven't done a video review on this yet because I am still unsure about how I felt about the book. It was okay. I'm not sure how I feel about Erin's writing style. She is really good. She's really imaginative. She's really creative in what she does, and she is a really good writer. But the way she structures her writing and how she expresses herself, I think that's got me a bit confused about what I thought about them. I did listen to it on audio, but I'll probably reread it in a physical copy, so I haven't done a video review on that, but when I do a reread on it, I will upload a video for it. Next I read was The Young Elites by Marie Lu. This was really good, as it was a massive surprise. This is a YA fantasy novel with a splash of grimdark in it. It was much better than I thought it was going to be. It's a lot easier to read, and it's really quick to read as well. It's not super complex. It's about a origin story of a villain and how she wants to be a member of this hero society, or this group of heroes called the Young Elites, and how she's kind of shunned and they turn her down right at the last minute. And yeah, it's really cool. It really is. Although the father figure is really disturbing. I can't say exactly what's on my mind because I'm in a graveyard and I want to be respectful. And the next thing that I read was The Troop by Nick Cutter. This was a really good story, as it focuses around a group of Boy Scouts on a island and how they have to overcome this parasite that's slowly hunting them down and killing them. It was a okay story, although the gross out humour overshadowed the main story. It could have still been like gross and like disgusting, but it was overdone to a extreme level, and it was a shame because the overall story was really interesting. I can't wait to read more from Nick Cutter, as I've heard that not all of his books are really disgusting, so looking forward to that. And in August I had my first ever DNF for subscriber month, that is, and that is for Lonesome Dove. This is a Western novel, and yes I know that Lonesome Dove is a classic Western, and yes, I was really enjoying it. It was very relaxing. It was a slow burn, but because of its length, it's about 900 pages long. I couldn't find the time personally to actually dedicate enough time to it because I was reading so much. So I have temporarily DNF'd Lonesome Dove, but I am planning to get back to it at some point. And for September, I haven't finished any books for subscriber month. I did try, but I haven't finished any. But I have DNF'd a bunch of them. And the first one was called The Man from Primrose Lane. I can't remember who it's from, but obviously I'll put a picture here. I can't remember exactly why I DNF'd this book. It's about a man that is like an old man, and he's kind of a hermit, and then he keeps to himself all the time, and then one day he turns up dead. No offense to anyone around me. And yeah, I can't remember exactly why. It wasn't exactly bad or anything like that. I think it's more of a slow, really slow burn, and I'm not sure whether I will get back to it or not, but I can't really remember why I DNF'd it, so, but I did anyway. The next thing that I DNF'd was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This was recommended to me by a good friend of mine called Aaron Norman, who was an old university friend of mine. This is a non-fiction book about wealth. The author talks about how he had two dads growing up, one that was rich and one that was poor, and how they kind of said, well, one of them said, well, that money isn't everything, yeah, happiness is all that, and all, and all that stuff. And then the other said, oh, money is everything. You should wealth is power, and you should strive to be successful, which is fair enough, and strive to have money and all that. And so I was like, for someone who works in retail who doesn't get an awful lot of money, and for someone who personally doesn't care a lot about money, I mean, I know money is important, money is good, yay for money. I mean, money buys food, it buys books, it buys clothes, it buys whatever you want to get, whether it's a want or a need. But for me, money isn't everything. Yes, it is important, but it isn't everything. And I'm sure that both of these dads were really good people, but the rich dad was more of giving me the more impression of a Scrooge type of character, you know, like a tight-fisted, money-grabbing person, which I'm sure is not the case. I'm sure he's like a fantastic guy, but I tried to listen to it on audio, and it wasn't really my thing. It was fine for what it was. People will like it if you're into finance, but it was not really my thing. I'm sorry, guys. And then the next thing I DNF'd was Assassin's Apprentice. I DNF'd this one purely because I had so much to read. I was reading 4 books at once at one point throughout September, well, most of the time anyway, and I couldn't dedicate my time to Assassin's Apprentice. But I am planning to get to that one eventually, guys, so no worries there. And also, I forgot to actually write it down as well, but the last thing that I temporarily DNF'd in September was Traitors Blade, which was a grimdark book. I really liked it, but it suffered the same fate as Assassin's Apprentice, which I couldn't dedicate a lot of my time to it, so I've temporarily DNF'd it, but I will get back to it. So the things that I have completed through September of 2021 is the complete poetry collection of Edgar Allan Poe. Now, I did a whole video on this. Who knew that I would like a poetry book? That a book about stuff that I wasn't completely sure about what I was reading, and what I didn't fully understand what I was reading most of the time, but I did enjoy it. It was really dark, not gory. It was more or less sad, but in a somber, melancholy way. It did talk about death a lot and love, and it was really, really good. I've never read a book about poetry before that you could actually get a sense about the author themselves as a person while reading a fictional story that they made up in their heads. So I really liked the complete poetry of Edgar Allan Poe. I give it a 5 stars out of 5. I have done a whole video review for it. I have a picture here. Link will be down below in case you want to check that out for some reason. The next thing that I read was Remina by Junji Ito. This was a manga, or it is a manga, or a graphic novel, depending on where you stand with that. Some people will say it's a manga or graphic novel. I'm going to call it a manga. This was a really, really good book about a strange planet that comes from another dimension, and it's heading towards Earth. And everything that it comes into contact with, planets or stars, it destroys them. And everyone on Earth, when it finds out that this planet is heading towards Earth, they lose their shit and they panic and they think, oh my god, we're all doomed, we're all gonna die. And they attach this crisis to a woman and a scientist who discovered the planet, and the woman who's called Remina, who's actually named after the planet. They think up in their mind, right, if we kill these people, that then will prevent this from actually happening. It's really, really good. It's really dark. It's really quick for its size though. I read it in about 2 days. It's really cool. In that video review, which I'll put here, and the link will be down below, I showed 2 books I bought by Junji Ito. One that was called Smashed and Frankenstein, and I asked you guys what ones you wanted me to read for Halloween or October, and the one that had most votes would be the winner, and Smashed was the one that won. I'm currently up to 140 pages of it. It is a short story collection and it's mixed, but overall I'm really enjoying it. So probably expect that video to be up on my channel, if not after this, or on my next upload video day, or soon. And the next thing that I read and finished in September was Darkest Hours by Mike Thorn. This is a short story collection, which is a horror based collection, and I read Mike's first book called Shelter for the Damned, which was really, really good. I have a whole video review for it, which I will have a picture up here, and the link will be down below in case you want to check it out. So when Mike asked me to read his short story collection, I bought a physical copy of it, and it was on my shelf sitting proudly next to Shelter for the Damned, and it felt that everyone had talked about it apart from me and done a video on it apart from me, and I was so excited to get to it, and I finally did, and it was really, really good. I'll be able to go in more detail about what I felt about it in my video review for it, but as a collection, as a short story collection, it does suffer from the fact that not all the stories are going to be of the same quality. Some of them I liked more than others. Some of them I thought, okay, that was okay, it was nothing special, but it was okay. But I rated I rated Darkest Hours a 4.5 stars out of 5. I didn't give it a full 5 marks because some of the stories I didn't really care for, so it kind of bumped it down a little bit for me. But because of that reason, I bumped it down. I wanted to give it a 5 out of 5, but obviously I wanted to be fair to Mike and to you guys, so I give it that rating. I'm not sure whether I said as well that I gave Remina a 5 stars out of 5 as well, so I'm not sure if I said it, but I'm saying it now. So that's it, guys. That is my wrap up for September of 2021 and my overall conclusion to subscriber month of 2021. It has been a very good September reading month for me, all kind of mixed. I would have liked to read a little bit more, but what can you do? If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment down below, let me know what you thought about this video and any of these books. Let me know if you read any of these books I mentioned in this video. If you have enjoyed this video as a whole, please consider subscribing to my channel, and if you do, please click on that bell as it will remind you whenever I upload videos, which are every Monday and Friday. I will have a link down below to my Goodreads account in case you want to follow me on Goodreads or message me or whatever. And with all that out the way, have a great day, read some awesome books, and I will see you all in my next video.